Welcome to Fantasy Sports Daily, powered by FantasyGuru.com. Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. Ray Flowers breaks it all down for you from a fantasy sports perspective. Good morning, everyone. Ray Flowers of FantasyGuru.com. Hope you're doing well here on September 19th of 2025. Guard your freedoms, folks. Guard your freedoms. I'm Ray Flowers. You can follow me on Instagram, social media, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, Twitter X, all those places at The Ray Flowers. You can find me over in Discord at FantasyGuru.com. Yes, we're still doing baseball over there. We're still doing DFS, still doing the seasonal. I gave a pitching chart yesterday for the weekend worth of action for the Hill, for those people looking to make moves on the Hill. Hopefully that'll help you out a little bit. Obviously, here on the show, we're talking baseball today, the first half hour. We talked baseball the first half hour yesterday. We do the same thing on Tuesdays. Do that for one more week here. Obviously, doing football as well. We got a big special that I'll debut here. Well, we debuted it yesterday. I'll reintroduce the big special here in a second on the show. But I want to thank you for being with us here on the free show, the free offering from FantasyGuru.com, which is the largest active community in fantasy sports. So become part of the Elite Mafia. Click the Elite Plus tab in the top of the page in the right corner. You can always, if you have any questions about any of the products or what's going on, send a note to support@fantasyguru.com. Support@fantasyguru.com. And we've got a great product here, folks. It's not just football. It's not just baseball. It's basketball, hockey, PGA, MMA, soccer, NASCAR, horse racing. We got college football in there. We've got a lot to offer over at fantasyguru.com. So click that subscribe tab in the top right corner. And if you do that now, we got quite the offer for you right now. It's up on the screen here. It's a BOGO offer, folks. I don't know how long it's going to last. No idea. But what I do know is right now, you buy one, you get one free. You buy the seasonal football product, that's its own thing. But the two other aspects of fantasy football that we have to offer, the DFS football and the wagering football products, those two products. You buy one, you get the other one free. You buy the wagering, we'll throw in DFS. You get DFS, we'll throw in wagering. You get both for the price of one. And remember, I said this yesterday too. The price for our product is probably lower than pretty much anywhere in this industry. A lot of people charge a lot of money for these packages. We're doing 2 for 1. So come over, get involved with us at fantasyguru.com. Send a note to support@fantasyguru.com if you got any questions. If you're going to the website, click on the support tab or the purchase tab in the top right corner of the page. Click on both of them. When you get to the shopping cart, it'll change the price up and all that for you. So check that out over at fantasyguru.com. Buy the DFS football package, get the wagering football package for free, and vice versa. Do it now, folks. Get involved over at fantasyguru.com. All right. Oh, here, look at Aaron. Look at it, saying something nice. I appreciate that. A day without your voice is a bad day. Ray, really appreciate what you do. Love your show. Aaron, thank you. It means a lot. Had a rough couple days here. I've had a rough couple weeks, to be honest. A lot of things going on behind the scenes, none of it really work related, so it's not that. Just some family stuff and everything. So it's nice to hear. Nice to hear something positive. So Aaron, thank you. I appreciate you too, and I appreciate everyone here on the show. As I've said many times, we have a lot of you are return customers, repeat followers, listeners, all that kind of stuff. And I always appreciate the positivity. I like the fact that you talk to each other in the chat room, that you're positive. We don't get name calling and all that kind of stuff here because there's so much of that in the fantasy space. So I appreciate Aaron, Ethan, all of you, John. I mostly appreciate you too, John. Yeah, most of the time. Appreciate all of you for joining me today and joining us every day, Monday through Friday at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We go about an hour. Yesterday we went a little extra with Tyler Beaker. Hopefully you enjoyed that free Betty throughout. It did hit last night, so that was nice to see. We go about an hour each day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Justin Frenchman's here with you Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, I'm with Jeff Manns on the Elite Sports Show. That's on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. That's from 2 to 5 Eastern, Monday through Friday. And I'm with Jeff again on Wednesdays. What are we talking about here today? Besides the buy one, get one free offer that we just threw up there on the screen. Oh, and throw it up on the screen, quickly. YouTube.com/@ElitePlusNetwork. Facebook.com/FantasyGuruHQ. Twitter X @FantasyGuruSite. All three of those places. Watch anytime you want. You can also watch and follow along live. And as we've seen already, you can leave comments that we can address throughout the show. You can tell me, I'm reading things at the same time. I shouldn't do that. Go to the website, click the Elite Plus tab at the top of the page to find all the show's cataloged. And you can always type in Fantasy Sports Daily to your local podcast network. Do it. Follow the show. Appreciate the likes, the supports, the stars, the ratings, all that kind of stuff too, if you can. As you see it on the screen, remember, full season coverage is available for DFS and wagering. Okay, 50% discount. Buy one, get one free. Let me make a note here. Buy one, get one free. So it looks familiar. Buy one, get one free. We'll talk baseball here for about the next 25 minutes. Lots to talk about here. Again, I have an updated starting pitcher chart over at fantasyguru.com. Start a guy, not start a guy. Really simple, but hopefully it'll help some of you make some of those decisions with your hurlers here over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll talk about some hitters, a bunch of pitchers here too. We'll talk how they're performing, how they're trending, what their last start looks like. And remember, we're at that point of the season that, and I've said it a lot, and let's say it again, that hopefully, and my leagues are not all like this. So hopefully your leagues are. Hopefully your leagues afford you the opportunity to change your lineup on a consistent basis. And by that, I mean on a daily basis. Because there are going to be guys that we think on Monday are going to start. They're not going to make a start next week. That's the way this is going to go. So it's going to be really hit or miss with players performing up to par or not performing up to par. And as a result, pluses and minuses with that starting lineup. Okay, so let's look at the situation here with Junior Caminero. I'm just looking at my Dynasty League squad. This is hilarious. I pulled up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 players on the injured list. Yeah. Don't you wish you were me? Probably not. Oof. Anyway, Junior Caminero. Junior Caminero's had a phenomenal season for the Rays. He's out of the lineup, or was out of the lineup because of a back issue yesterday. Reportedly, he's doing better. Still unclear if he's going to return to the lineup today or not. And Caminero, who we talked so much about and who for a while there looked like he was going to be okay, has been great. He's up to 44 home runs and 108 RBIs. Now, he's only hitting 259. 302 on base percentage, below the league average. So that's really kind of what we were talking about, being a concern with him coming into the season. A 11% launch angle. So he's lifted that up from the 7% last year. So that's really nice to see. But there still is an awful lot of fortune here. 25% home run to fly ball ratio. Not saying it's not a level he can sustain long term, but it is a big number. But more importantly, it's the insane work he's done in the second half of the season that's really lit everything up. 91 games in the first half, 23 home runs for Junior Caminero. 55 games in the second half, so 46 fewer games, 21 home runs. He got 21 home runs in 55 games. He has been phenomenal in the second half. So now we wait, we bide our time. The back, even if he's back in the lineup, is he going to be able to drive the baseball as we expected? Are the Rays going to push him to get back out on that field? You look at the Rays record right now. What are they? They're 75 and 78. They're not making the playoffs, so there's nothing to push here. I'm sure they'd like to see him get to 45 home runs. That's a nice round number. But we'll see down the stretch here. It doesn't sound like it's a significant issue with him. He should be back in the lineup soon-ish. Just don't know how soonish that's going to be for the slugger of the Rays. His teammate Carson Williams went 2-4, hit a home run yesterday. Let's check in again with Carson Williams. We've checked in with him a couple of times. He's one of the higher-ranked infield prospects in all of baseball, a strong defensive player that a lot of people think will win Gold Gloves at some point at that shortstop position. He's played successful defense to date, though I was reading a story yesterday saying that it wasn't quite as good as expected. It's 24 games, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. But he's been solid defensively. Offensively, 4 runs, 11 RBIs, 10 runs scored. In 24 games, I'll take that, right? Problem is he's only run once, or only had one steal. He's been caught once. So 1 steal in 24 games, not good. He's hitting 186, which is terrible. He's got a 230 on base percentage, which is horrible. And he's got a 36% strikeout rate, which is dangerous. And that is the one piece that we talked about when he was promoted. We said the strikeouts have been part of his game. The swing and miss is really something he's going to have to clean up because, this guy doesn't look appreciably different offensively right now than Taylor Wells, which is kind of Taylor Walls, excuse me. And so I think today it's been, again, 75 plate appearances. Can't draw any long-term conclusions with Carson Williams. But in reality, this has been exactly a continuation of what we saw with him down on the farm and what the scouting report says. Got to make better contact. That's a long-term concern that he's going to have to tighten up. Caleb Durbin went 2 for 3 with a walk. Couple of runs scored yesterday for the Brewers. Now, Durbin is a very interesting player. He's been somebody that I've been pretty high on. He's been someone that I've recommended to a lot of folks. He's on multiple teams that I personally have. And overall, he's been successful. This is not a bad season at all for the youngster. 11 home runs, 16 steals, 59 RBIs, 52 runs scored. All this is pretty good. The last month, he's been quite effective. Who hasn't on the Brewers, right? But last month, he's been quite effective. He's got 4 home runs and 5 steals the last month, which is excellent work. Batting .315, excellent. 900 OPS, excellent. And oh, by the way, he's 9 for his last 20. So not only has he been really good and very effective across the board the last month, the last week he's 9 for 20. He's also scored 6 runs in 6 games. He's played 10 games at second, 123 at third, and 3 at shortstop. Probably qualifies at multiple positions in your league. Second base and third base would be my guess. Maybe if you have some open-ended system, he's qualified as shortstop too. I don't know if he's on the waiver wire. RT Sports has him owned in less than 25% of leagues. Caleb Durbin, multi-position, performing well, and really performing well the last week. He's been killing. He's 9 for 20. Spencer Torkelson went 2 for 4 with a double, and Torkelson, what an interesting ride, right? Torkelson comes out, has a strong start to his career, then struggles. He struggles so badly he gets demoted last season. He's basically told, and this comes out in the press, that he's not even part of the starting lineup to start this year. He's going to have to earn a spot in the starting lineup. Again, this is a guy that, an elite draft pick, first-round draft pick that almost hit 30 home runs one year, right? How did he hit? 29? Pull this up so I'm talking here. But the fact is, this has been a very interesting up and down, up and down, up and down for the first overall pick in 2020, who did hit 30 home runs. He had 31 home runs his first full season. And then comes into this year, and they're like, well, you're going to have to earn your spot in the lineup. We don't even know if this is going to happen. There are rumors about Torkelson being traded and all that. And what has Torkelson done? Hasn't quite returned to his 2023 level. Where has he? Batting average is up 9 points. On base percentage is up 20 points. Slugging percentage is up 14 points. It's actually better. Walk rate is up 1 point from that season. Strikeout rate's exactly the same. He's gained about 40 points in OPS. So though he only has 29 home runs and only has 74 RBIs and 80 runs scored, his slash line is slightly better than it was in 2023. And now, 26? Gosh, he just turned 26 last month. The 26-year-old is now back to being a young Christian Walker, right? So fascinating. I really like to see the growth in the walk rate, the 11% walk rate for him. He has improved here of late. Torkelson over the last week is 9 for the 23, so much like Caleb Durbin. He's also hitting 283 the last 2 weeks. Another guy that really from oblivion almost has come back to become an everyday performer for his team, the Detroit Tigers. Nathaniel Lowe started out hot. He had a 924 OPS, drove in 8 runs his first 12 games with the Red Sox. We talked about that. We said at the time that, this is more about him kind of blocking other guys and that kind of stuff than it is about let's run to the waiver wire and get Lowe. Started out hot with the Red Sox. Last 13 games, he's only driven in 2 runs. His OPS is 576. So that dream is dead. If it is one you're banking on, unless you're in an AL only league, hopefully you've cast away Nathaniel Lowe, and you're working on some things there at first base. Austin Wells is interesting. He had a run scored last night, a walk, an RBI, went 2 for 3. And, there was all the talk about Austin Wells when the season began because toward the end of spring, I don't know if you remember this, there was talk that he was going to bat leadoff. And, if you're batting in front of Aaron Judge, we're taking you seriously, right? I mean, that's just the way that's going to be. So there was a lot of growing excitement for Wells. He had some solid moments in spring training. And here we are at the end of the season. Let me pull this up as we're talking here. I went too far. I'll find it in a second. His spots in the batting order. He has hit leadoff this year, I believe, a couple of times. Yeah, he's hit leadoff twice. He's hit second once, and he's hit third 3 times. So the guy that was going to be the leadoff guy has only hit 3 times in the second or first spot. He's spent almost the entire season hitting 7th, 8th, or 9th, and he's been fine. And really, he's got 14 more plate appearances than last season. He's driven in more runs. He's scored more runs. He's gone from 13 to 21 home runs. 21 home runs and 428 plate appearances. Pretty good. The one negative here is the walk rate that was 11% last year has caved to 7% this year. A 272 on base percentage is terrible. It's just terrible. He's going to hit 8th or 9th for the rest of his career if he's doing this. So the excitement that we had with Wells at the start of the season has now regressed to the point where he's basically looked at as that catcher we all grew up with, right? That guy that could hit 18, 20 home runs, but was winning at 220. Kind of looking like Austin Wells at the moment. Jorge Polanco had an RBI double yesterday. Why mention Jorge Polanco? I kind of agree with you. He's Jorge Polanco. And, at the end of the day, he's been perfectly acceptable as an offensive performer and all that. You didn't pay anything for Jorge Polanco. He's probably off the waiver wire. He's got 24 home runs, 73 RBIs. That's pretty good for a guy that was nobody. 266 average, 819 OPS. Not a bad season, right? Is it exciting or setting off any alarm bells or anything? No, absolutely not. But here's the positive news. He's only 8 for his last 23. What a slacker compared to the other two guys. Last 13 games, batting .360 with 10 RBIs. His last 25 games, .364, 6 home runs, 19 RBIs, and a 1.135 OPS. So basically, the last month, he's been Shohei Ohtani or Aaron Judge. That's huge. That's huge. When you see an 11.35 OPS over 25 games, so check that out. I mean, you look at the standings here with the Mariners, and they're obviously pushing for the playoffs and everything. He's going to play down the stretch. Jorge Polanco, check the old waiver wire out. He is owned in 78% of leagues at RT Sports, so at least RT Sports has him owned. But if you've got him on your bench, you just haven't been paying attention or whatever, Jorge Polanco is the real deal right now. Now, his teammate Luis Castillo has been uneven this season. There's no way around that. The cracks in his game have started to become a little bit more pronounced. And he's 32 and the velocity's down, the strikeouts are down. We've known this is coming. But he's thrown 173 innings again. So he's been I don't know if it's a workhorse, but in the modern game, it's a lot of innings. He shut out the Royals yesterday in a quality start, no runs in 6 innings. The time before that, quality start against the Angels, gave up 1 run. The time before that, quality start in Atlanta against the Braves, 1 run allowed. So that's 3 straight quality starts. That's 2 single runs allowed. That's it. And that's 2 walks in 3 games. It's actually 3 walks in 4 games. If he can keep the walks in check, because he's not striking out guys like he used to, if he can keep the walks in check, I mean, he's still a very effective pitcher. And again, we're looking at another 30 start season, another 150 strikeout season. The 1-2-3 whip is going to be as high in 4 years, but it's not a bad mark, right? It's not a bad mark. Looking at him his next time out, Wednesday against the Rockies. I believe that's in Seattle, too. Let's verify that real quickly. That his final start of the season is scheduled to be against the Rockies on Wednesday the 24th at home. He's killer at home. And even this year, when the season we were just talking about, it's been kind of I just zipped through him. Season's been kind of wonky. Luis Castillo is as are most of the pitchers with the Mariners, because it is the best place to pitch in baseball. The park in Seattle. At home, Luis Castillo this year, 2.70 ERA, 103 WHIP. You're starting him with high level of confidence in that final start as he pushes for 180 inning pitch season. Hunter Greene flirted with the no-hitter last night. You probably all saw that. He allowed a 1-hit, 1 walk over 9 scoreless innings. Got 17 swings and misses with the CSW of 36% on his 109 pitches. Do you remember? You probably do if you've been a long-time follower of the show, and if you have, thank you. You probably remember when I said, look, all he needs, he was rolling to start the year, and I said all he needs is to stay healthy to take that next step. And literally his next start, he got hurt. I jinxed him. Oh, no. But he's been really good. He's only made 18 starts. And so we're still in that limbo of, can this guy throw 180 innings, right? But he's been terrific. You look at the numbers here, and we're talking about a K rate of 31.5%, a 6% walk rate, which is 50% lower than the last 3 years when that mark was over 9%. That's fantastic. Not only is the 6% mark really good, that's fantastic growth. And when you combine the lack of walks with all those strikeouts, dude's going to be a star if he can keep this up. Okay. So everything we've really seen from him this year, I mean, honestly, it's all what it was in the past or better. He's 26. We'll see. He's thrown 125, 112, 150, and 101 innings. Modern day baseball, you throw 140 innings. We're kind of okay with it, unfortunately. But he's only thrown 130 innings once in 3 years, or 4 years, excuse me. But that was a fantastic effort last night. He's going to face the Pirates next time out. He'll probably dominate them in his final outing in 2025. Jonah Tong got beat down last time out, but he defeated the Padres last night, had 8 strikeouts, gave up 1 run. Velocity was down a little bit. That's not surprising for a young pitcher, certainly later in the year. Tong is slated to face the Cubs next week, depending upon how they play this rotation out the Mets. We are now, 4 starts into his effort in the big leagues. We've got a 29% strikeout rate, strong mark. 10% walk rate, not great. We've got an unfortunate 333 batting average in play, an absurdly, insanely low 45.5% left on base percentage. His current ERA is 5.9. His xFIP is 3.5, and his SIERA is 3.7. So clearly he's pitched better than that ratio number will tell you. There is a lot of misfortune going on here in the left on base rate and the batting average of balls in play rate. But just like pitchers we were talking about earlier, Hunter Greene, if you can get that walk rate down below the league average, which is generally right below 9%, if he can get that down, he's going to have a lot of success. And obviously, Mets getting a lot of good pitching from their youngsters. Pretty impressive work here down the stretch, highlighted by Mr. McClain. Colin Ray, I don't know where this happened, how this possibly occurred yesterday. But Colin Ray, 11 strikeouts, career best number. Gave up 1 run against the Reds. Now, he lost the game because on the other side, Hunter Greene was Mr. Dominant. But 11 strikeouts for Colin Ray? Like, what the hell's going on here? 19 swings and misses? Like, what? Huh? So he's facing the Mets next time out. He's had a really good season given expectations. He's over 150 innings pitched, 4.1 ERA, 1.3 WHIP. He's not somebody that I recommended starting yesterday. He's not going to be someone that I'm going to feel great about starting next time out against the Mets. But there was a dominant effort yesterday, and you hit the lottery if you rolled with him. I don't think you should have, but if you did, you won. An update for the Blue Jays. Max Scherzer's going to pitch today against the Royals. Shane Bieber's probably pitching Saturday, and Trey Yesavage is probably pitching Sunday. Don't know that for certain as of right now. Maybe we'll get an update on that today. Yesavage, who we talked about yesterday on the show with the dominance, the strikeout totals. His own manager, as we discussed on the show yesterday, said, I think he'll pitch, but I don't know if he's going to start or relieve. That's probably what's going to happen, which means if that's what they do, Jose Berrios will not pitch again this week. He won't pitch until next week. So that's a negative if you have Jose Berrios. Brayan Bello lasted 4 innings last night, gave up 4 runs, only 3 of them earned against the A's. From June through August, he had a 2.70 ERA and then throwed 6 innings in 15 of 18 starts. It's really good work, right? Really good work. Here of late, not so good. Last night, he gave up those 3 runs in the 4 innings. Timeout before that, it was Yankees, but 4 runs in 5 innings. Did have a quality start the effort before that. But if you look at this, the walk's starting to climb up a little bit his last 4 outings. The walk rate's over 4 per 9. Concerningly, his strikeout totals the last 4 games are 3, 4, 2, and 4. That's less than 6 strikeouts per 9 innings. You always worry about guys, wearing down a little bit. He's almost exactly where he's been at the last 2 years in terms of inning pitch. 157, 162 this year, 161. So you wouldn't think that would be the case. His numbers are basically across the board are improved over where they were last season, except for one significant area, and that's the K rate. The K rate's at 18%. That's not good. That's not good. His CSW is down to 25%. That's not good. His swinging strike rate is down to under 9%. That's really bad. So in the case of Brayan Bello, he's going to have to continue to miss bats. He's going to have to continue to rely on that ground ball. And it's going to be difficult for him to maintain an ERA of 3.3 at any point for an extended period of time if he doesn't miss more bats. And at this point, he's under the league average last year. And the strikeout rate, he's gone even further down this year. He's a solid pitcher, but is he a top of the rotation kind of guy? He's just not. Ethan B says, I missed the 200 inning threshold being the aim. Yeah, so do I, Ethan. Game's different now. It's accepted. It's expected almost that no one does it. So Everyone go out there and throw as hard as you can until your arm flies off. That's the modus operandi for most of these teams. Shane Baz allowed 2 hits over 5 innings against the Rays. For the Rays against the Blue Jays. 4 shutout innings. Only threw 74 pitches and they pulled him. Disappointing because he was pitching as well as he was, right? Give him another inning kind of thing. They didn't. The ERA drops below 5 at least. He'll hope to hold on to that with the next start against the Orioles. Would have no issue starting Baz against the Orioles in that next time out. They haven't let him throw more than 83 pitches his last 4 outings. So they're, and this again is the Rays are as good at pitching as anyone in baseball, but he's over 162 innings now. He threw 80 official innings last year. It's possible he doesn't make the last start, Shane Baz. It's possible that he throws 3 innings. So while I could say, yeah, I'm fine starting Baz against the Orioles, I am, but there is that concern, the workload concern of skipping the start or the workload concern of him being extremely limited in the outing is absolutely legit and something to think about. Hogan Harris got a second save in 3 days on Thursday for the Athletics. Probably going to be Alvarado or Newcomb today if you had to look at someone, because obviously you're not going to likely to throw a guy this late in the year that doesn't mean anything 3 times in 4 days. But Hogan Harris, just a name out there if you're looking for a little bit of a boost. He's got 4 saves now on the season. Lots of walks, few strikeouts, too many fly balls. Like, it's not a great, but right now he's at least in the 9th inning mix for the Athletics. And before we talk some football with Russell Clay, Clayton Kershaw's going to retire. You probably heard this. He's going to pitch today for the final time at Dodger Stadium, though, of course, potential to pitch there in the postseason is certainly an option. 3-time Cy Young winner, active leader in ERA, shutouts, second in victories to Verlander, third in strikeouts behind Verlander and Scherzer. Just an absolutely fantastic career. Going to the Hall of Fame. What's the number? I'm looking it up here as we were talking. I saw something that's pretty wild this morning. There have been 1,000 pitchers in Major League history who have made at least 150 career starts. That's according to OptaSports. The only one of those 1,000 pitchers, the only one who was as likely to, or more likely to deliver a scoreless start than he was to suffer a loss was Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw in his career has lost 96 games as of right now. He's had 101 starts that were scoreless. Clayton Kershaw, one of the all-time greats. Hopefully you got a chance to see him pitch live. If you didn't, run out there today and watch, or try to catch his final game of the season if they throw him out there, because you don't see many you'll never see many guys like Clayton Kershaw. But with the way the game has changed, per Ethan, are people getting to 220 victories anymore? Are they getting 3,000 strikeouts anymore? I don't know. All right, we're a couple minutes away from talking some football from Russell Clay. I see a question here, though. By the way, don't forget, buy one, get one free by the DFS product at fantasyguru.com, or buy the football betting product at fantasyguru.com. We'll give you the other one for free. Send a note to support@fantasyguru.com. Support@fantasyguru.com. David P. asked the following football question. PPR, Hawkinson or Juwan Johnson? I need one. I would say this, David, and I've said this many, many, many times. My default position is if you have more than 8 bench spots, you can have 2 tight ends. If you have less than 8 bench spots, I just don't like carrying 2 tight ends. To me, you're just wasting space. Then you're going to run into the decision like you have right here of which guy do we play. We have both Juwan Johnson and Hawkinson in our top 10 this week. I would expect most people would have them in their top 10 this week. How are you going to decide? Are you flipping a coin? We've got Juwan Johnson 1 spot ahead. I'm fine with that. But again, this is not something that's going to be solved on a weekly basis. I would only carry one. What I would really do, I'd trade Juwan Johnson. That's how I would do it, but that's me. Secondly, looking to trade J.K. Dobbins for wide receiver. Could you name a few so I know the range of which wide receiver to trade for? Thank you. David, I can't answer this question, and here is why. I don't know who has wide receivers to give, and I don't know who wants a running back. This is the way the question is normally asked, but the right way to ask the question, or the right way to go about making a trade in a scenario like this, is the following. You have J.K. Dobbins, you want to trade, you want to get a wide receiver. Go look at your league mates. Go see your league mates, which teams have good receiving cores and which don't. It's pretty obvious. Some teams will have 3 top 12 guys. Other guys will have nobody in the top 35, right? Okay. So go and look at your league mates. Who has the strong receiving cores? Identify the handful of teams that have good, strong wide receiving groups. Then see, okay, of those groups, which of those teams need a running back? Right? So that's the right way to do this. It's not just, hey, Ray, should I trade J.K. Dobbins for DK Metcalf? It doesn't matter. If the DK Metcalf owner has Ashton Genty and Saquon Barkley, they're not going to be interested in J.K. Dobbins, right? So the right way to do this is to work the other way. You need a wide receiver, you have a running back to give. Find the wide receiver heavy teams. Find the wide receiver heavy teams that don't have strength in the backfield. Then you find the wide receiver match that works for your trade of J.K. Dobbins. I hope that helps out a little bit. Okay. It is Friday. Every Friday at about 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, we talk to my man, Russell Clay of FantasyGuru.com. Russell Clay is not just a FantasyGuru.com, by the way. He now is on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio with Justin Fensterman on Sunday nights at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I believe it's 6 to 9 Eastern. He's on the live stream often on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Eastern. If you have the package at FantasyGuru.com, you get access to that. Sometimes you'll see him here. Sometimes you'll see him there. He does college football. He does dynasty football. He's in the Discord room. He's just an overall busy fella who enjoys him some football. And I saw he had a dynasty party as he updated the rankings the other day. So let's bring him in and because you might have missed it. And if you missed it, you'll want to catch the next one. So let's bring him in. He's Russell Clay of FantasyGuru.com. How you doing today, Russ?
What's going on, Ray? How are you?
I'm doing all right. Always better to be talking to you. It's always fun. So thanks for joining us and the listeners today. You did have like a dynasty rankings party kind of scenario. Describe that to the viewers today.
Every Wednesday we get on TikTok and we bicker and we argue and I tell everyone they're wrong and they tell me I'm wrong. And then we come out with updated dynasty rankings for the site. A lot of subscribers are getting over there. People I recognize. So it's a really fun time. And of course, these aren't like redraft, right? Where it is not an exact science. There is, I would never admit I know everything about every player from a long-term perspective, right? Or like every player that missed practice, especially if they're like a fifth string wide receiver. So yeah, it's a fun time, and we're getting a little traction over there. So shout out to our subscribers, and shout out to all the randos.
So that's every Wednesday.
Yep.
I admit, sorry, Russ, I didn't see last night. Did you have your fancy button-down shirt on?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Yep.
So you get to see Russ dressed up in the evenings. He doesn't get dressed up for us in the mornings here, but in the evenings he's dressed. He's ready to rock and roll, hit a party up. Russell Clay of FantasyGuru.com. Before we dive into some questions, I thought we'd kind of do a little look at players to buy or sell kind of thing. And, it's not an exact science, and we'll throw some parameters around that to at least give some basis to it. But before that, Thursday Night Football, Bills defeated the Dolphins 31-21. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. Let's start out on the Dolphins side. I mean, Tyreek Hill scores a touchdown. Jalen Waddle scores a touchdown. Okay, right? Neither one of these guys hits 50 yards. Neither one of these guys consistently hits 50 yards anymore. Tua Tagovailoa in 2 or 3 games hasn't hit 150 yards. We had the one game where, he threw for 300 and maybe, but last night it was kind of more of the same crap. Is this passing attack ever going to get going, or is this just kind of it right now?
Okay, so one of the funny things from yesterday for me, I was calling for Zach Wilson. That didn't happen.
Okay.
Didn't even really get close to happening because Tua played really well. But Ray, this is like the theme of the season for me so far. I watched Michael Penix play last week. I thought he was amazing, and I looked up at the end of the game, and he had the worst fantasy performance of my life. 135 yards, 0 touchdowns, like nothing. Right. And you look up at the end of this game, Ray, I thought Tyreek played well. And you look at these stats, you're like, Tyreek Hill had 40 yards. He made like 7 great plays. So I think that's just the world we're in 2025. A lot of these quarterbacks are basically, in the rec leagues where they have the guy running the clock and doing all that. It's like these quarterbacks are just running the clock and setting up and handing out juice boxes and stuff. So I don't know what's going on, Ray, but it is not fun. As far as this offense, I'm out. But I thought they looked pretty good, all things considered.
You know, the Devon Achane is really fascinating because they keep integrating him partially in the run game. Like last night, Ollie Gordon had 9 carries, Achane only had 12. So it's like, yeah, okay, that's about what we would expect. But here's another 7 catches. So Achane's touching the ball 20 times every week, right? Like, and you never know who's going to get hurt. And I'm not saying he's going to get hurt, but that's a lot of work for a guy that's, not a big fella. It's insane to think he's going to catch 7 passes every week, but that seems to be the driving force of their offense a lot of the time. He's just the new Alvin Kamara, okay. But do you have any concerns about this overall volume with him, or we're just going to roll him out there and live with it?
It does seem like Ollie Gordon's becoming the 2-down back there, which we don't mind. If you're an Achane owner, you kind of want that. You don't want him, like you mentioned. He's not a huge guy. You don't need him running into those line 3 to 4 extra times a week. If he expands into 5 to 7 catches a game, it's Achane. He's going to make big plays. That's going to work out for us. So I don't even know if Ollie Gordon emerging is a bad thing for Achane owners. It's almost welcomed.
On the other side of things, I mean, Mr. Cook was going to have touchdown regression. He's not having touchdown regression. He's scoring every game still.
Yeah.
So, okay, I talked about that with Tyler yesterday. Tyler Beaker, who's on Thursdays with us. Josh Allen rebounded from his down game last time out, 3 touchdowns. Okay. Let's talk about the receiving core a little bit here with the Bills. Keon Coleman's name came up 50 times the last 2 games and start him, sit him. I don't know if that's because people wanted to start him or because people were concerned about starting him. What I do know is if we go back to last season, he's had like 1 game in 8 where he's had 40 yards. Like he had that huge week 1 this year as Keon Coleman. And otherwise it's been, who is Keon Coleman in 2025?
Again, these offenses are not cooperating with us anymore, right? And there was a time, you can vouch, I can vouch, there was a time where the main point of offense was just to throw for as many yards. Like Drew Brees was throwing up 25 with 2 minutes left. He was trying to get that last touchdown. Rodgers was trying to rub it in. These offenses now, the Bills get a lead and they're running clock. They're getting the game over with. Yeah. And whether it's Shakir, there's some guy named Shavers that had 2 catches last night. I mean, it is.
What do you mean, some guy? Come on.
I honestly don't know who Tyrell Shavers is, but he's got 2 catches last night. Right. And I said, who's Tyrell Shavers? Keon Coleman's a good young receiver, and they are using him on some specific plays. But they have Shakir, Coleman, Palmer, and they're using Dalton Kincaid all in the same exact role. Right. So whatever that is, I'm not sure. It's not good for us fantasy wise. Of course, if they're in high scoring games, all these guys are going to do well. But how many teams, Ray, through the first 2 weeks, how many teams do you think are going to be able to compete with this Bills team or even get a lead on this Bills team? So that's the new question.
Yeah, like 2 of these games have been crap offensive performances. The one against the Ravens, they went to the moon because they had to, catch up there at the end. And you're totally right. I mean, we see this from the Packers all the time, right? Every guy's catching 2 or 3 passes each week. Allen only completed 22 passes last night. 9 guys caught passes. Like that's just like the Green Bay. And while that's good for your football team, it's terrible in fantasy. Like you're saying, it's just terrible. And you're right. I mean, they ran 57 plays. I saw that mentioned everywhere. 57 plays, 57. That's like 20 below where we figured the Bills would be, if the game's competitive, right? So it is interesting how some teams are, and let's be honest about this. You're trying to win games, right?
Yeah.
So if that's if you're going to go 12-5 doing this, go 12-5 like that. But you're right, it doesn't help in the fantasy space. So Keon Coleman, Josh Palmer, obviously. You mentioned Khalil Shakir. He got a touchdown, so the people that started him are excited and happy about that. And he catches his 4 passes every week. But 4 for 45 yards without a touchdown. I mean, he's Wan'Dale Robinson. So that's, that's unappealing. And then we have Dalton Kincaid, who Led the team in targets, catches, yards, scored a touchdown last night. At the same time, Dalton Kincaid's catching 4 passes for 46 yards a week. Like, he's not doing anything unless he scores a touchdown either. So are we really in a zone right now where Kincaid can be started because the tight end position is what it is? But are we really in a zone where, as much as this, they scored 30 points last night, as much as this team is going to be winning games and scoring points in the passing attack, there's just not really much that we can really depend upon?
We can depend upon Josh Allen and James Cook. And if James Cook gets hurt, we have Ray Davis. And beyond that, we had the kicker missing extra points. I don't know what else we can really depend on. We might need to talk to old Raj and have him shorten the play clock, right? To 15 seconds so they can't just run 45 seconds. I mean, if you have a 10-play drive, they're just wasting 8 minutes.
Yeah,
so,
right?
Yeah.
And again, I get it, but it's not fun to watch. Russell Clay of fantasyguru.com. Okay, we're going to do something we shouldn't do, something that, it's impossible to do, but we're going to do it because this is what everyone else is doing, right? And what I mean by that is everyone's trying to decide what to do with players. It's been 2 weeks in a game, but people want to make these decisions for the entire season. So let's help them make those decisions for the season. We're going to assume a 12-team league, PPR setup, the traditional 10 starters, 6 bench spots. So very traditional, basic, here we go, 3 starting wide receivers. Okay. Number 1, quarterback, Caleb Williams. He's been okay. Still a lot of excitement about this offense. Odunze's ascending, okay. Caleb Williams, we holding on to him, we dropping him. We holding on to him, we selling him. What are we doing with Caleb Williams? Is he a QB2 for you anyway? Is he still going to be a QB1? Caleb Williams, what do you got, Russ?
Okay. I'm holding, but I am not holding anyone hostage saying you have to hold him. This feels like a lot of these guys, same thing with the running backs, Ray, where we get these questions and I'm seeing these trades people are making and I'm just like, man, you guys are making me sick here. I'm sick for you guys. I don't want any of this to backfire on all of you, dropping all these first round picks, all these high talent guys in week 2. I don't do that stuff. I've just learned the 2 times you're right is not worth the 3rd time where you're painfully wrong and drop a league winner or trade a league winner. So that's where I'm at with all this. You're free to go. I'm not holding you here. You can drop Caleb Williams. You can trade Ashton Janty for, whatever. But I have to trudge on with these guys because I've just seen it work out so many times. So Caleb, it's been rough. It was the Vikings, it's a tough matchup. So I'm continuing. Also, I think it's worth noting Rome Odunze looks like an absolute star. So he does have a star, even if Moore and the rest of the offense doesn't look great. So it's going to open up here. Their schedule isn't going to be like that all season. And I would continue to fire in super flex leagues. But I know that's hard to hear when you've had bad fantasy results.
I think it's been easy. It's been 2 weeks. It's easy at this point of the season, even if you're in a 12-team league with 6 bench spots. It's fairly easy to have 2 quarterbacks. Once the injuries start happening, once the bye weeks start happening, it's almost impossible to do this. So I think that a lot of people's opinions on the 2 quarterback thing changes once we hit week 5 and that starts. What are your thoughts on the 2 quarterback thing? Because what happens is people have Jordan Love and Caleb Williams. They've got Jared Goff and Caleb Williams. They've got Kyler Murray and Caleb Williams. And I try to tell people this in a nice way. The difference between quarterback 9 and quarterback 11 in the rankings, it's 12 yards. It's an incompleted pass. It is incompleted. Like, when are you going the 2 quarterbacks? If you're in a single quarterback league, in our scenario of 12 teams, 6 bench spots, you hold the second quarterback.
There were a lot of questions, not only last week, but this week. I'm seeing Bo Nix or Drake May in my start sit. And my suggestion has been every time, pick one and roll with it for a month, because not only this is exactly what you're talking about. Not only are you playing the start sit game of I want to get this right. Now you're playing I want to get this right, and I'm still going to be a little sick if I get it. If Drake May scores 20 and Bo Nix scores 25, you're still going to be a little pissed.
Right.
So what I would say is I like Drake May. If I have Drake May, I'm setting and forgetting him. We had one mediocre week. We had one good week. I have high conviction on him this year. I'm rolling with it. I think Bo Nix is great. And like you said, they're probably right next to each other week to week for me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make this as simple as possible. I want as little question as possible. And that means I'm going to pick one. If it's Bo Nix for you, great. Fire with Bo Nix. Don't sit there every week. I mean, that's a horrible question because it's dead center. Like you're going to have that question every week. So pick one and go from there.
Russell Clay at fantasyguru.com joins us on Fridays at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. Javante Williams, no one had much confidence in him. You drafted him because he was a starter to begin the year. Okay. He's top 5 running back right now. It's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But he's a top 5 running back right now. He's touching the ball 20 times a week. Like, this is crazy time. I haven't been impressed by anything. He's fallen in the end zone. He's getting what's blocked, that kind of thing. But, hey, man, there it is. What do you do with him? Because if you trade him now, he's a top 5 running back for the Cowboys, America's team. Or do you hold on to him until he peters out and here comes Jaden Blue eventually? What do you do?
There we go. I'm holding and starting. It looks like they want to semi-feature him, but I do have written down over on the side. Okay, we know we have, if things go to hell and he's 3 yards per carry, we know we have Jaden Blue high upside right there. So it's not going to be Miles Sanders. I think Javante, okay, if we didn't have the Denver stuff and we just took Javante, 2nd round pick out of North Carolina, we'd say, oh, this isn't shocking at all. Like, of course, Javante's doing well. The major knee injury, Sean Payton usage is what's keeping us back. So it looks like Dallas wants to feature him. I certainly didn't expect this coming into the year, but if you have him, I would keep starting him.
Because remember, Ezekiel Elliott was out there 3.3 yards a carry, scoring 10 touchdowns for the Cowboys. They've done this before. So it is possible that Javante Williams, it's possible. I mentioned the name earlier. We talked Khalil Shakir briefly earlier. Wan'Dale Robinson. Let's talk about Wan'Dale Robinson. Wan'Dale Robinson had 142 yards last week. He literally never had a game over 71 yards last season. He somehow caught 93 passes and didn't get to 700 yards. The touchdown he scored last week, the Cowboys were playing zone defense, and there were guys all around him, but no one was actually covering him. He was just running down the middle of the field. The best game he's going to have was last week. Best game Russell Wilson's going to have. Okay. You got Wan'Dale Robinson. Did last week change your opinion on him at all? Is he still 5 catches for 50 yards? Is there some massive connection between him and Russell Wilson? Let's go. It's going to be 8 catches a week now. Do you care that the Russell Wilson's not going to start for this team all season long? Is now the right time to move on from Wan'Dale Robinson when his value is the highest? Or are you holding on?
Wan'Dale Robinson is good. I'm confident in saying that. He is a positive part of that team. And for some reason in my brain, I think of him as some guy off the street. 2nd round pick out of Kentucky. They put a lot of investment into him. Not as much as Neighbors, but Wan'Dale looks really good, and he's coming to fruition as a wide receiver. There were questions of how is he a Randall Cobb type, or is he going to really develop into a receiver? And it looks like he has really developed, and he's starting to be used downfield more. Yes, that's going to be probably the best game of maybe his career last week, but I do think he's an every week flex consideration, especially when we get into bye weeks in a couple weeks, can start to look at Wan'Dale. So he had 90 catches last year as well. So it's not out of nowhere. He's going to be fine and probably a solid week-to-week guy.
You mentioned his name earlier. We had him in the rankings in the off-season rankings at fantasyguru.com. You can still sign up for the seasonal product too. I know we talked about DFS and wagering, but click that subscribe tab in the top right corner. Still get in the seasonal product. Get access to all the articles, live streams, podcasts that we do, Discord access for questions, all that kind of stuff. We had this guy right on the edge of wide receiver 1. He was like wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, but we all felt confident that he was the wide receiver 1 of his team. We're a couple of weeks in now, and it's not clear anymore. And I'm talking about DJ Moore of the Bears. You mentioned Odunze, and Odunze has not only looked good, the stats have been there. Moore still catching 5 passes a week, but it's where are we at with DJ Moore? If you have him, do you hold on to him and just say, look, he's still catching 85, 90 passes this year. I'm fine. Do you sell him, which seems a bad idea to me because his value is probably as low now as it's been at any point in the last few years. What kind of are we expecting here with DJ Moore moving forward?
Okay. I'm sweating. I am sweating. He took a brutal hit at the end of week 1. So I am accounting for that last week. I don't know if he was actually hurt, but I imagine I've never been hit like that in my entire life, Ray.
Right.
I feel like if you get hit like that, there's gotta be a week or two where you're like, do I really want to still do this?
Yeah.
If you didn't see it, go watch the DJ Moore hit. It was like a cartoon. The two guys, one guy went up top, one guy went below. It was really rough. So I don't know if last week he was in a weird place with that, but I told someone earlier this week, one more week, and if we get nothing, then we might want to think about putting him on the bench for a month here before we see something. But weird time in the Bears offense. They're totally in flux. Odunze's shifting to be the main guy. I do believe that, but DJ Moore's a very good receiver, should have open lanes here in the coming weeks, but I'm giving it one more week and then he's going to the bench if there's nothing this week.
I talked yesterday with Tyler Beaker about Ladd McConkey, and he basically said he's not overly concerned. Ladd McConkey, according to some people, is a wide receiver 1. If I drafted him as a wide receiver 1, I'm concerned. So I don't agree with that take the Tyler. But Tyler spent 3 minutes and gave his views on this yesterday. So I wanted to ask you, where are you at with Ladd McConkey? Like, it's one thing to say, yeah, things are going to be okay. It's another thing to say Keenan Allen's here now. It's another thing to say Keenan Allen's got more targets in 2 games than Ladd McConkey. It's another thing to say that, oh, by the way, Quentin Johnson has as many targets as Ladd McConkey. Like, Keenan Allen, a lot of times people, and again, Keenan Allen get hurt, play 12 games this year, and it's not panic time. Much like DJ Moore, it's not panic time with Ladd McConkey. But what are we doing with Ladd McConkey? If Allen's getting used in the red zone and Allen's getting 7 or 8 targets a week, that really caps those breakout efforts that we were hoping to get from Ladd McConkey.
Ray, I think I'm with you. The Keenan Allen thing, I was not predicting months ago.
Right.
That is Ladd's targets. He is taking our man's targets right there.
Instead of 10, it's now 6. Yeah.
I am worried. I've been looking at that the first 2 weeks and saying, man, I don't know if there's enough in this passing game to go around. I do think there will be games where they need him in closer games, but Quentin Johnston looks great, and that was not expected either. This is the Jim Harbaugh effect, right? Whereas previous regime, we won't name names, but guys maybe didn't play up to their potential. Now we're having guys play way above to where Quentin Johnston is. We're looking at him as this an every week guy now. Keenan Allen, he's literally my age, mid 30s, and he's out there looking spry, looking like he's with Phil Rivers out there. So I'm a little worried the target crunch is going to be there. McConkey will probably look up at the end of the year and say, oh yeah, he's got 1,000 yards, 900 yards, but it could be rough seas compared. Like that Keenan Allen signing could really ding McConkey. So I'm leaning with you, Ray.
Russell Clay at fantasyguru.com. Brian Thomas.
Yeah.
We're hearing a lot of alligator arms. We're seeing some bad numbers. We're getting some bad vibes. Jeff Mans has mentioned many times a lot of the success last year was Mac Jones driven, not Trevor Lawrence driven with Brian Thomas. Truth. And again, Brian Thomas and Ladd McConkey were kind of right there at the bottom of the wide receiver one rankings for some people, right? Like,
yeah.
If you have Brian Thomas, you holding on to him? If you don't have him, are you trying to make a move for him? Is this kind of what it's going to be? Or are we expecting the guy that we saw be a horse for so much of last season?
The first 2 weeks, this has not been Brian Thomas. I don't know what's going on. This is another one of those situations where Brian Thomas is not making Brian Thomas plays. I don't know if he doesn't trust Trevor or something's going on. But if you actually watch the snaps, these plays are open and he's either trying to fall down. He's doing the Tyler Lockett and this C24. So right. I don't know. None of us know, but we can watch those snaps and say, this is not the Brian Thomas from last year going up, high pointing everything, super explosive. He did take a big hit in preseason. I see a lot of people trading for Brian Thomas right now. Jeff mentioned a lot of the production was with Mac Jones last year. That is a fact. And also, we got to see him figure this out first. I am not trading for Brian Thomas right now. I don't know if this is a buy low. What if this goes on for a month where he's just in a weird place? And I know this is a fantasy show. I know we're not getting between the lines here and evaluating that type of stuff. But if you go watch those snaps before you buy him, because he is, I mean, alligator arms, but there's like straight up, like, I don't want to do this. Like me at the grocery store when I was 8 years old. Like, I don't want to be here, Mom. I need a candy bar. I'm going to be pissed, you know? So
what kind of candy bar? Chocolate? Like a chocolate bar or taffy?
I probably would have wanted a crunch back then.
Okay.
But Reese's the go-to, Ray, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What about you?
I was more in the Reese's Pieces was a favorite, yeah. But I was more into like the Jolly Rancher.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of thing was more I was not a big chocolate guy. My family, my mom, my grandmother, I'm not really a chocolate guy. Russ Clay at fantasyguru.com. Emeka Egbuka, let's talk about him for a second. Been wildly productive, getting in the end zone 3 times. Who knows when Chris Godwin is back? We've heard he was going to be ready for the start of the season, week 3. We've heard week 6. Now we're starting to hear maybe week 4. Like, I have no idea. No one knows. He might come back and play a week and then miss the rest of the season. No one knows. But what I've seen multiple people recently ask a question, which is, to my response, kind of obnoxiously, is, well, duh. People saying, is now the right time to trade Egbuka because what's going to happen when Godwin gets back? And I've seen some people say, can Egbuka take over for Godwin? And the answer is absolutely 100% no. When Godwin is back, he's getting 9 targets a week and he's catching 6 passes. That's happening. So is now the best time to trade Egbuka, who, again, despite getting in the end zone, he's not putting up massive numbers, Is this, hey, the hype that we had all preseason, it's he's going to end up as wide receiver 23. It's going to be fine. Like, where are we at with Egbuka?
The Egbuka Godwin thing is tough, but I do know Baker has been a top 5 quarterback for going on a year and a half now.
Yep.
And there is an unlimited ceiling on this passing offense. And there are very few offenses we can say that about now that can support 3 receivers.
Mm-hmm.
We're just talking about the Bills. We were talking about the Chargers. This is one of the few where I look at this and say, all right, last year we had McMillan, we had Cade Otton, we had Evans some weeks. Baker does not care. He's going to just throw to the open guy. And some weeks that is going to continue to be Egbuka. And he has a unique skill set. He is a Godwin clone, but he's a much younger Godwin. So they're going to use him end arounds close to the line of scrimmage stuff where Godwin's kind of more of an intermediate guy at this point in his career. So I still like him. I'm going to still continue to start him even when Godwin's there, but keep an eye on it for sure. I mean, if Godwin's starting, yeah, he's going to be a full-time starter for sure.
Let's go to the chat room. Aaron's got a question here. Someone in this shallow league dropped Sam Laporta for Juwan Johnson.
Yeah.
Aaron currently has Travis Kelce. It's a non-PPR, which makes this way more difficult. So the question is, do we hold on to Kelce, or do we make the move to add Sam Laporta for Aaron in this non-PPR setup?
We've been duped, ladies and gentlemen. The Lions duped us with Laporta. This was what we thought Laporta was going to be out of college, the blocking Iowa tight end. Mm-hmm. They tricked us, Ray. They tricked us for 2 years, and now he's back to being a blocker, a great piece of that Lions offense, but they are not using him like we want, and I would not bank on that changing. I'd keep rolling Kelce out there. Not really loving that either, but did get some nice targets, even though he didn't convert last week.
Yeah, the ball got out of his hands for the interception. It would have been a touchdown, so would have looked better. That's wild to think too. In a non-PPR setup, I'm going to assume Laporta was ahead of Kelce on draft day, and I'm going to assume both were top 5 tight ends.
Yep.
And just think, someone after 2 weeks dropped the top 5 tight end who they drafted in the 5th round. But it wasn't like Laporta was a 9th round draft pick, right? They took him early and they drafted him for Juwan Johnson.
What a world, Ray.
I mean,
and I don't even know if I totally disagree.
Yeah, that's, the interesting, and I've said this, a lot of us have said this over at FG, just to follow that point up with you, Russ, to see if you agree. Juwan Johnson, Spencer Rattler's average depth of target is like 9 feet. So Juwan Johnson's loving life, right? Like, here we go.
Yeah.
When Shuck takes over, you agree that Johnson, this is not going to continue?
Could look a lot different. I mean, even with Rattler, this may shift, but we at least know he's going to get targets every week, and he's a part of this passing game, where Laporta, it's like they're having him do, different assignments. So it's weird.
Ethan's got a question that we can't really answer, Ethan, because we don't know your whole team and your whole scenario. But Ethan's got a scenario where each week he's having to sit either DeAndre Swift or Garrett Wilson. Some people have great teams. They drafted well. They've used the waiver wire terrifically. They made a fantastic trade or two. And we get the questions every week where they've got, I got to sit 2 of these guys and they're all top 25 players. And it's like, okay. You got other people that are, they've got, Josh Palmer and Wan'Dale Robinson, and they're hoping each week, right? So it looks like Ethan's got a really good team. I see this question a lot. I've got these guys that I can't play. So should I trade them to improve an area of weakness somewhere else? In theory, sure. But let's remember, it's been 2 weeks. It's not the part of the season where we're giving up depth. Okay. DeAndre Swift could blow his knee out next week. Garrett Wilson could blow his knee out next week. Right? Someone else, I don't know who else you've got. Jahmyr Gibbs could blow his ankle out, and all of a sudden you need DeAndre Swift. So if I'm trading Swift or Wilson, I need a huge return, and I need to be sure that my receiving core and my running back core are really strong, because to me, quarterback, something I can, tight end, running back and wide receiver, you can't mix and match very well. That's, there are definite guys, unless an injury happens, that's just the role these guys have. So what's kind of your overall thought to this question Ethan has? Because this type of question does come up.
Ethan, you're 1 injury away from not having to make that decision anymore.
Or bye weeks.
Yeah, I'm always aware of, okay, what happens if this guy goes down? So we're going to probably have to deal with that at some point, Ethan, and you're going to be happy you have one of those guys to throw in there. So that's my take on it. It's never bad to have some depth. Now, if you have 7 top 10 guys, that sucks. But Swift and Wilson, I can live with Swift or Wilson being on the bench and hoping, that they stay afloat. And then if an injury happens, I won't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah. And remember, and I'll just hit on this again. It's been 2 weeks. Okay. This is not, this is a long season. I know maybe some of you have forgotten because it's been a year, some of you are back into football. You're going to have guys get hurt. You might have 1 guy get hurt, 5 guys get hurt. bye weeks are going to start and you're going to be looking at your team and, oh shit, like these guys are, it's tough to trade because I would say Swift the top 20 running back. Wilson's the top 20 receiver. We can argue how high they go, but those kind of players you want. I see a lot of people, and don't fall into this trap too, everybody, which is the trap I see a lot, is I'm getting these 3 guys and I'm giving up Garrett Wilson. What do you think? Well, those 3 guys you're getting are wide receiver 36, 39, and running back 27. Like, it's week 2. You need depth that bad in week 2? Like, that's not... So be careful. Anytime you're giving up the best player in the trade, and if you're giving up Swift or Wilson, you might be giving up the best player in the trade. You should be cautious about that, right, Russ?
Always cautious. 3-for-1s. I don't understand trading in a season-long league. I don't get it. I see people trading their best players for other people's best players. Right. I see 3-for-1 deals. I get that it's fun, but you drafted your guys because you wanted them. And that's where I'm going to leave that.
Chris points out, yes, we know that Swift has an injury. He's got a thigh quad injury, something. Who cares? No one at this point in time thinks it's going to stop him from playing. Football players get hurt. Just how it is. He's averaged 20 touches a week, basically. What's he at? He had 20 touches in 15, so he's averaging 17 and a half touches a week. He'll be fine long term. I'm not concerned about that injury at the moment. Are you, Russ?
No, it didn't seem like something that's going to keep him out. But, I mean, it's Swift, so we got to keep an eye on it.
Russell Clay joins us every Friday at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. As I noted earlier, you can often find him on the live stream Tuesday nights at fantasyguru.com at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can always find him on Sunday nights with Justin Fensterman. That's now 6 to 9 Eastern Time on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. Correct, Russ?
Correct. 6 p.m. Eastern. And come hang out, watch the games, and tilt with us.
Are you in the Discord during the show? Are you doing that? Are you interacting?
Oh, I am not. I have not reached the multi-task abilities yet, okay. But maybe at some point, Ray.
Something to shoot for, Russ. Something to shoot for. He is Russell Clay again. He's with us every Friday. He's at SiriusXM. He's doing live streams here. He's doing live streams there. He does the Dynasty updates. You heard that every Wednesday he updates them. So hang out with him on TikTok when he does that live. He also does some college football stuff for us as well. How's that going so far, the college football piece?
It's good. I mean, the future, there's no good quarterbacks in college football this year. So it's bad for the NFL, but good for us. It's been a lot of entertaining football.
So, Russ, thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it. We'll do it again in a week. Have a great weekend. We'll chat with you next week about the goings-on in the world, some Thursday night football, as well as the rest of the universe here. So thanks for your time. We'll talk to you then.
Awesome. Thanks, Ray.
You got it. Everybody have a great weekend. We're in Discord over at fantasyguru.com. Click the subscribe tab in the top right corner. Remember, the BOGO deal right now. Buy DFS, get wagering. Buy wagering, get DFS for free. Buy one, get the other for free. 50% off. Get the 2 packages for one price. Hit support at fantasyguru.com up with an email if you're interested in that. For Russ, I'm Ray. It's been Fantasy Sports Daily, powered by fantasyguru.com.